Hi everyone. Happy Monday. I just wanted to reach out and do another live for you guys. I sure hope you've had a great start to your week so far. Anyway, today we're going to be having an awesome conversation about Airbnb's pros and cons to an Airbnb. So as you know, again, introducing myself, Savannah Shepherd. I run Savannah Sells Homes and I love helping people purchase a home, sell a house, or invest in property. So again, I've done several lives on Monday now, and they've talked a little bit more about that buying process, pros and cons, or even myths I think we went over, and also selling and why it's a good time to sell still with our current market. That said, I want to kind of stay a little more on the investment side. Personal property, of course, selling your personal property. And then step three is going to be doing investments. That's one of my favorite steps for sure. So today we're going to talk about Airbnb investments and why that may be a better decision than going a traditional rental route. Again, they both have pros and cons, and you as a person have to sit down and decide what works best for you. But let's just get into some pros and cons of Airbnbs. So a couple pros, we'll go through our pros first. A couple pros that I think of right away is number one, the cleanliness of the place is going to stay more clean. For a couple different reasons, you yourself as an owner, you're going to want to keep a clean Airbnb. I don't know if you've ever stayed into an Airbnb where you just walked in and you kind of see crumbs on the counter. I have one time. That was it. Crumbs on the counter and you're just like, do I even want to sleep in that bed? Do I want to touch that? It just doesn't give you a good feeling. So therefore, you yourself as the owner really keep a clean place. And it's easy to do. It doesn't cost you a penny. All you do is when they go to book, you say, oh yeah, there's a cleaning fee of, let's say, $130, which is completely reasonable. Then you have your cleaning lady go in there, clean the place, whether you're the cleaning lady or you hire someone, have them clean the place, and it's ready for the next person. So generally, you can control the fact that it does stay clean. A lot of people aren't staying there for a tremendous amount of time when they're looking at an Airbnb, so it does stay clean that way. The other thing is when people are going to stay in an Airbnb, again, back to the time, they're not staying there for a year. You know, Airbnb is, hey, we're going on vacation, we're going to stay here for a week, a couple days, maybe a couple weeks max. So that said, they're treating this like it's someone else's house. Most people, I can't speak for everyone, most people are going to treat it like it's someone else's house. Therefore, they themselves will keep it more clean. And, not wanting to break things and things of that nature. They treat it like it's someone else's house, and that does help to keep things better and more clean. So another positive, I would say, to an Airbnb is it does give you access to the property. So easy example here, I've got a place, let's say in South Carolina, and I'm going to go ahead and do an Airbnb on that. Well, I would love to enjoy my place in South Carolina, but if I rent it out, I can't do that, especially if I'm renting it out for an entire year. So an Airbnb will give that to you. You can just block in whenever you want your vacations to be, and then that's the time that you get to stay there, and you can rent it out for the rest of the time. So it gives you more access for personal reasons. Also, another thing that's positive to me is it gives you access for, let's say, hey, the AC is getting kind of old, we want to get that updated. Or let's go ahead and tackle those countertops, put some granite countertops in there. That way we're not coming back to our place in 10 years when we decide to sell it, and now it's extremely dated because we weren't able to stay up with it because we had someone living in there 24/7. So you can take that access for a couple different reasons and use it that way, but to me, that's certainly a positive. Another positive I would say is you're not going to have a lot of major repairs. Other than staying up with the property, these people are not staying there for a tremendous amount of time. So you're not walking into a house where the walls are extremely dirty. Who knows? There's holes in the walls. There's stains all over the carpet. If you got that in a couple weeks, then we've got some serious problems. But generally, as a rule of thumb, it is going to be maintained better. So it does help with that too, not having to do major repairs. So there's some positives and certainly pros to an Airbnb. I will get to some statistics here in just a minute, but some cons would be taking up where I just left off, going off of repairs, is there are going to be some minor repairs, of course, because we're not renting this out for a year. An Airbnb, again, is a short time. You do need to have it furnished. these people aren't coming with a couch and bed. You know, they're walking into a house ready and prepared for them. So you will, let's say a lamp in the living room falls and breaks. It's not going to happen every time, but it will certainly happen. So you just want to have that keep that in mind. You're not putting in there furniture that you're devastated if it breaks because that was great grandma's couch and I can't believe that happened. No, that's not what you put in this place. You put stuff that, you know, if it breaks, it breaks. It's not a big deal. So you do kind of want to keep that in mind for sure. Another thing I would say is insurance-wise, you definitely want, I put this under a con, but just to prepare yourself, you are going to want to get an insurance, and I can give you more information about that. Short-term rental insurance, they sell that, and that's exactly what you want because it covers the small things that most policies aren't going to cover. So very important. You do want to make sure you get that. It's a little bit more, but again, it's not much. So those are kind of some pros and cons. One other thing I would just say as a tip, screen people. That's a really big one. And you can just screen them by, Airbnb will just let you, even VRBO, same exact thing. They'll let you ask a couple questions. So I've stayed in a lot of Airbnb, so I'm used to that. So I'll get, say, like 5 different questions and, oh, you know, why are you coming to the area? And maybe something about you, just to better gauge who you are and, or rather who they are. And then you can decide, okay, do I want these people to come into my house? Do I feel like they're going to take care of it how I would want? And if so, let's go. And if not, obviously you get to make that decision. It's the benefit there. So pros and cons on Airbnb. Statistic does show as an Airbnb rental. And when I say Airbnb, this could also be a VRBO. So either one of those. As an Airbnb rental, they do make generally 2 to 3 times as much as a regular rental. So that's a huge, huge difference. Now, the negative is you do have a lot more management. As an Airbnb rental, you're going to have to do management. You need to be able to make sure you get good reviews. Reviews is everything in that world. So you want to make sure you get really good reviews by keeping a clean place. That's a really good way to start. And just also booking. You want to make sure your schedule's booked. You don't want to overbook. You need to, everyone's going to forget what the code is for the front door. I do it myself. So you need to make sure you're kind of prepared and ready for that. So it certainly does take a lot more management. However, if you make 2 to 3 times as much money, one, it may end up being worth it. It might even be worth it to hire someone to do some of that management. That way you're not taking any more time, you're making more money, and with that you're able to pay them and still take a little bit more home. So just some thoughts on Airbnb rentals. I certainly found it interesting as I was doing research for this video. I sure hope it was a help and benefit for you. Guys, if you know of anyone, of course, that is looking to buy a home or sell their house, and just like today's video, invest in real estate, there are so many reasons why this is an amazing time to take those steps. And I would certainly be honored to help them, whether they're here or not. If they're not here, I can't exactly help them in the area, but I can connect them with an agent that I know will do just as good of a job. So very important. Let me know. I would be very grateful for that. And then, most importantly, the most exciting thing today, last week we did a giveaway. So I did a giveaway for, I don't even remember. I think it was like 1,000 reasons and things about purchasing a house that you should know and steps like that. Anyway, so I went through all of that, tallied up who our winner today was, and Miss Lori Hart over in Hawaii was the winner. And I think one of her comments on there was that they were going to be looking for a place in not too long. So this might just be perfect timing. But anyway, super excited about that. I hope you guys have an amazing week, a very successful week, and it's gorgeous weather out here, so you can go enjoy that too. Anyway, I will see you guys all next week. Thanks so much. Bye.